Laila Adesina wasn't searching for a mystery-only piece. Her transfer to the University of Ibadan had been an escape from a suffocating past in Ilorin, where expectations were heavier than love. Books were her only sanctuary. But peace became impossible the day she found the letter. It was hidden in the pages of a tattered poetry collection. Chinua Ochek's banned 1976 volume, Verses of Uprising, wedged tightly on the top shelf of the dusty university archive. The paper was yellowed, the ink faded, but the emotions bled clearly through every line. I saw you in white again. Not as a dream, you were real. And I was alive again for a moment. If this world burns us for loving, let it turn to ash. S. No date, no name, just raw passion and pain. Laila couldn't shake it. Who had written this? To whom? And why did it feel like the air itself held its breath around the words? That night she placed the letter under her pillow. She dreamed of ivy-covered walls, voices crying through corridors, and a name whispered in the wind. The next morning, the book was missing from the archive shelf. Laila returned to the archive the next day. The librarian, Mama Chinyere, a silver-haired woman with sharp eyes and a sharper tongue, swore the book never existed. But I found a letter inside it, Laila protested. Then maybe the letter found you. These old books choose their readers, you know. Strange things began to happen. Notes appeared in Laila's locker. Stop digging graves. Pages were torn from other poetry collections. The air in the archive felt colder. Once, she caught a tall figure in academic robes slipping silently out of the archive's Dr. Ayotunde Rhys. She barely knew him, yet his presence always made her spine tighten. He taught African literature with a calm voice, subtle gestures, and eyes that carried sorrow. When she asked him if he knew anything about Ochek's banned poetry, he stared too long before replying, "Some verses are best left unread." Ayotunde called on her one afternoon after class. He'd noticed her interest in old texts and offered to share rare books from his personal collection. His office was a treasure trove of African literature-worn pages, annotated margins, ancestral masks watching from the walls. He made her mint tea in a carved wooden cup. Their conversation flowed like a river. Books, culture, protest literature. Then he read aloud a Yoruba poem she had never heard. I met her beneath the baobab, her scarf catching the wind. My name forgotten, hers eternal. Her heart skipped. The style matched the mysterious letter. Who wrote that? She asked. Ayotunde's smile faltered. A forgotten poet. Like so many. Laila wandered to the edge of campus, where the old protest site stood silent under dust and time. There, she met Baba Karim, the elderly groundskeeper who had worked at the university since 1969. His face was lined like carved wood, his eyes sharp despite age. He told her stories of the 1977 student uprising, sparked by tuition hikes and the remnants of colonial policies. He spoke of a girl who wore white every Friday, meeting a boy near the baobab tree. Their love was fire, he said. Too bright for that time. It scared the people who built these stone walls. What happened to them? She asked. Baba Karim looked away. One vanished, one was buried. But not the way you think. Back in her dorm room, with Abeni's help, Laila combed through online archives. They found a faded newspaper, clipping from 1977. A photograph of a girl in a white dress holding a placard during a protest. Her name, Temitope Laid. S and T the initials matched. Temitope was the daughter of a British Nigerian professor. Some records said she ran away with a radical student. Others whispered of an accident. Her university file had been sealed. Ayotunde's surname was Alaid. Laila confronted Ayotunde in his office, the walls breathing with silence. She was my grandmother, he admitted. Tematope. No one in my family speaks of her. They say she brought shame. Who was S? I don't know, he whispered. But I think my father does, and he would rather destroy the truth than let it free. He begged her to stop, but she couldn't. The letter had awoken something in her, a duty to finish the love story that had been erased. A heavy rain pounded the old dormitory windows that night. Thunder rolled across the sky as Laila tried to sleep, unease gnawing at her. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed from the wall. A loose tile clattered to the floor. Behind it was a bundle wrapped in aged cloth, sealed shut with deep red wax. Hands trembling, Laila unwrapped it to reveal a leather-bound journal, fragile but intact. It belonged to S. Inside were pages upon pages of poems and personal entries, chronicling secret meetings with Tematope under the baobab tree, fears of being followed, and warnings delivered in whispers. S had been told to leave her or face ruin. One entry read, "They told me she was fire and I would be burned, but I'd rather turn to ash in her arms than live cold." The final page simply read, "If I vanish, it was not my choice. I loved her. That is my only crime." Days later, Ayotunde invited Laila to his family's country estate. The home was quiet, wrapped in ancestral silence. In a hidden corner of the study, he opened a cedar chest that had not been touched in years. Inside were bundles of letters written in Tematope's delicate hand, ink smudged with tears, some pages frayed from frequent folding. Her love for S was vivid, aching, desperate, defiant. Among them was an envelope never opened. Laila gently broke the seal. It contained a plane ticket, dated one day after S was last seen. The destination, Accra, Ghana. He was trying to flee, Ayotunde said quietly. He never made it. With Baba Karim's guidance, Laila found a rusted key hidden behind a brick near the archives. It opened the storage closet of Professor Iber, a retired administrator once deeply entwined in university politics. Amidst dusty folders and forgotten theses, they found a small cassette player and an unlabeled tape. Laila pressed play. A gravelly voice filled the silence. "I told them to scare him. That's all. Get him off campus. I paid them. But I never saw the boy again." Professor Iber's voice cracked as it continued. Tematope wasn't supposed to love him. They said it would ruin everything. Armed with an old campus blueprint and Baba Karim's memory, Laila and Ayotunde found the entrance beneath the foundation of the lecture hall. Hidden under layers of ivy and moss, they pried open a wooden door and stepped into a forgotten cellar. The air was thick with mildew. Flashlights revealed protest flyers crumbling on the floor, shredded banners hanging from nails, and a corner where something had been hastily buried. There, beneath a collapsed table, lay bones fragile and long lost. Forensic testing confirmed it. The remains were those of the boy called S. The news erupted across the university and beyond. An internal inquiry was launched. The name that had been hidden was finally spoken aloud. Ayotunde stepped away from the university, his resignation quiet but resolute. Laila, now a celebrated student journalist, published a heart-rending expose in the New African Voice. Under the same baobab tree where the love story began, Ayotunde met her again. He held a worn page from the journal, a final poem. "Though ivy climbs the stone to hide, the truth will bloom no matter where it died. And love, our love will rise." They embraced beneath the stars, not as ghosts of the past, but as witnesses and carriers of a love that refused to die. The end.